What's up, everybody, and welcome to another tournament vlog, RCQ vlog, and this time for October 13th. If you caught the last one, that means, yes, there was a back-to-back tournament weekend, and we're actually going to have a couple of those coming up over the next few weekends. But what I want to do is open this up with just a quick deck review to know what I'm going through and what I'm walking into these tournaments with. So let's go ahead, take a look here at what we are running. So we are running a pretty standard Boros package with the 4 Ajani, 4 Amped Raptor, 4 Guide of Souls, 4 Ocelot Prize. We shaved a Flage off so that we could fit a little bit more power into some removal, like Galvanic Discharge, keeping 3 Lightning Bolts, rocking 4 One Rings, and 4 Static Prisons, and then we're rounding that main board out with 2 Goblin Bombardments and 2 Blood Moons. So this has been helping me a ton, the Blood Moons, as well as running 4 Static Prisons so I can control the board a little bit more. And then the 4 Galvanic Discharges is also allowing me to build up a lot more energy to keep Static Prison alive longer or to knock out some big things, sometimes an 8/8, like a Dimir Murktide, or a Dimir Frogtide deck when they play the Murktide Regent cards that can be 8/8s, 10/10s. They can get nice and big on you. On the sideboard, well, let's take a look at the lands first, and then we'll take a look at the sideboard. So the lands, I'm not doing anything too crazy. I am running 2 Ether Hubs and 2 Arena of Glories. I am running an Aganjo, which is a little different. That has saved me a few times, being able to spit that out and do 4 damage, so just a little extra removal. I separate my sack lands here with Flooded Strand, Marsh Flats, and 2 Windswept, just in case something funky like a Pilfering Needle comes out or something like that. And then pretty much everything else is the same. We're really trying to fish for 2 planes so that we can use something like Blood Moon and still be able to play everything on our field. Even if we can only get 1 plane, we can still play everything. We just won't be able to escape the Flage. Over in the sideboard, though, we're running out with 2 more Blood Moons, so if we need to aggressively go with 4 Blood Moons in hand, we can do so. Damping Sphere is going to be for all of your Storm decks, so that's mostly Ruby Storm. Sometimes you run into a Twiddle. Fearfire Foes is going to be more for the Mirror Match and anybody that has a 1 ring. So it counters the immunity from the 1 ring, does a nice little board wipe on a bunch of 1/1s. But the big thing is it just opens them up, removes that protection. Obsidian Charmaw is going to be more for the Eldrazi decks that are out there. So those could be the Tron decks, the Breach decks, the even a little bit the Amulet Titan decks. That's really what that's targeting, is just that whole group of decks. Orum's Chance is kind of a flex slot. I might change this up. It can do some tricky things, like, for instance, it might save you in a Storm deck if you let them build up all of the mana, and then right before they do Past in Flames, I believe is the name of the card, you cast that, and then they can't cast anymore. So that's really nice. Same thing with somebody that's looking to put a bunch of cards in the graveyard, and then one of my favorite things is, like, if it's a mono black Necro deck, right? They use Necro, negative 16 life, and then have 16 cards in hand, and then you can play this, and then they can't cast any more cards, and so now they got to just throw them all into the bin. And then Thraben Charm is definitely doing some work out there right now. It's the graveyard hate you need. It's also a nice removal for creatures, so it does twice the number of creatures you have on your board. So you can take out a 6/6, you can take out an 8/8 if you have 4 creatures out. And generally with Boros, you tend to have a pretty wide board. So being able to take out a bigger creature with something like this, as well as the graveyard removal, again, it's at instant speed. So that's kind of fun as well when somebody fills their graveyard expecting to do like a Murktide or something like that. You can blow that up so that they don't have a good way to cast that Murktide. So that is what I'm running. But this particular RCQ, we didn't do an opening video, so we don't know how we were feeling prior to it. I was feeling pretty good. Was riding the high from the last tournament. You're going to have to go check out the other video just to see how I did. Or I think I might even talk about it in the vlog itself. But the drive was a little bit further. We had a 45-minute drive out there, so it was a little sluggish coming into it, but overall felt well. I stuck to my sleep schedule. I ate. We ended up having about 8 people at the tournament, so it was a little bit bigger tournament. It took a little bit to get it started, but overall it was it was a good time. And so I don't want to ruin any more of it. I want to go check in with the guy that just finished the tournament and see his thoughts on it. What's up, and welcome to another tournament vlog for October 13th. We had another RCQ today. There was a double RCQ weekend, which was cool to do. I managed to have the time to do both this weekend, which was really cool. So I was excited about being able to do that. And playing both. If you caught the first vlog, that was a 4-person tournament. This one was an 8-person tournament, so a lot better, or a little bit bigger turnout. So we did 3 rounds of Swiss, and the way that works is basically if you lose a game, you're not getting anywhere. Draws might get you somewhere if a few people draw. So basically it's the 2 undefeated people go to the finals. And so I won my first 2 games. I went to the finals, and funny enough, I faced the same guy that I faced in the finals yesterday, except today he game win with this Phyrexian commander or something like that, which is a 2/2 first strike, and had protection from red and white, and I'm running Boros, so protection from everything I could potentially do, and also had infect. So game 2 he ends up winning because of infect. I died of poison. I died of frickin' poison. Game 1 was a battle. We went back and forth. We both got low in health. He managed to squeak it out with Frog. He just had enough cards in hand and could get over the top and pitch his cards, and I didn't have any removal for the Frog, and so he was able to get in over the top and kill me with Frog. So it was a good game, though. Like I said, went back and forth. It felt good going into game 2. I have a pretty good sideboard plan. So again, he was playing Dimmer. I'm calling it Dimir I, because it's using the Aberrant Oculus version of Dimir with Frog. So you can call it Dimir Frog Eye or something like that. So I was prepared for that. I managed to capture a frog or 2, or kill a frog. I ended up actually killing in the first game. I think I killed all but 1 frog. In the second game, I killed all 4 frogs, or somehow got them into the graveyard. And so he also played an Oculus, an Aberrant Oculus, and I managed to get rid of that as well. But then when you got those Phyrexian commanders, or whatever they're called, out, they just absolutely wrecked me. There was nothing I could do. You can't block them. I can't target them. I can't do anything because they had protection from red and white. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. There's nothing to do. Like, I couldn't get anything going fast enough. I mean, maybe the only answer I had was getting 1 rings out. So I had protection a turn or 2 from those creatures. But yeah, that was a hard answer. So it's making me consider running something like Wrath of Skies. So Wrath of Skies is really nice because it would work in the mirror, and then it also works against this particular use case. Also, it's an energy card, so I have kind of a slot in my sideboard that I'm thinking would make sense to put Wrath of Skies. So I might be doing that just to have some sort of answer against that play, because that's absolutely insane. Like, I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Like, I felt good going in this match because I beat him yesterday. It was 2-1, and it was they were hard matches, but I beat him yesterday. So a little sad, but before the game started, we tried to be as like tournament legal in our speech as possible, but we said, okay, winner is going to get the RCQ bid, and then
the loser of the match would then get all of the prize support. So it was the packs, it was the promo cards, it was all the bonus stuff. And so I don't feel terrible because I walked out with a big stack of cards and packs and everything like that. So I feel at least compensated for coming out. It was a 45-minute drive to get out here. So didn't feel terrible about walking away with that. Obviously, I would have loved to go back to back in a weekend and then just have my RC needs covered for the for the next quarter, being able to go to both Portland and Charlotte. So I don't feel bad. I really don't feel bad. Like it was a good day. I made it into the top two. Like it was reassuring. Like I felt a little odd about winning yesterday. Like yes, I still showed up. Yes, I still won. I won all my matches. Yes, I got the RC bid, but it was a 4-person tournament, right? Like I don't want to detract from it or belittle it. Like I still did the thing, but it's that and then showing up to another tournament with more folks. And I think for me, it would help solidify where I'm at in my gameplay. Taking a top spot or getting an RC bid in like an 8 or a 16 or a 32-person tournament, so like a bigger tournament. I think at least an 8 I will feel better about my play and myself. But if we get to a 16 tournament, that would be just amazing, right? If we were able to walk away there. So all that to be said, it was reassuring to make the top the grand finals, win into the grand finals match, got second on the day. He ended up winning 2-0 after the sideboard. That crazy card. I can't believe that card. I'm like flabbergasted. I was like, what do I do? There was nothing I could do. The only thing I could do is try to kill him faster than he's killed me. Like he still had his whole Demir game plan going on, and then just had these cards that would just get in and under and do all the damage. So I got to go think about that sideboard, think about some other things. It makes me realize I don't really have answers for artifacts. I don't really have answers for things that have protection of. And now they're rarer cases, but it is something I would potentially put in. I was looking at it, I think it's called a card called Meltdown, where you pay X in a red, and then any artifact with mana value X or less is destroyed. I'm thinking about feathering like 1 or maybe 2 of those to my sideboard. And then definitely now looking at Wrath of Skies, because Wrath of Skies could be a very good answer for the Demir matchup, for this new good Demir plan. It can also work for several other matchups that might have something on the board, right? So all that to be said, I feel good about today. So talking about some of the other decks I played, I played another dimmer deck. I'm actually gonna find my notes here because I took some notes about the decks I played. So I played another dimmer deck, and they were doing a standard Murktide version of the frog deck. So it wasn't anything crazy. I ended up going 2-0 on that game. Let me see here. So Grinding Breach was the first one I played. A lot of amulets, a lot of baubles, but the whole game plan was to get basically Thassa's Oracle out by milling their deck with a couple artifacts. But yeah, they won with Thassa's Oracle on the first game. Once I knew the combo, I was actively like interrupting the combo, and then sideboarded in Thraben's Charm, so I blew up the graveyard. Blood Moon did some work for me again in that matchup, as well as Damping Sphere. So the whole combo does require the use of spending some blue mana, but then there was an amulet that would then give him a blue mana every time he sacked something. So like he was able to like gain mana to spend it to do the thing. But also it made Bauble expensive, because Bauble is normally a 0 cost, so they could keep sacking that and bring it back, sacking that, bring it back. until they had no cards in their hand or in their graveyard, and then they could cast Thassa's, right? That's how Thassa's work. So I blew away the graveyard one time, and then Damping Sphere really put a damper, pun intended. We're out here trying to mean our puns on the game plan, because it just made it exponentially more expensive to start doing stuff. So managed to clinch game 2 and clinch game 3 in that one. Game 2 or match 2 for me was the standard dimmer frog tide deck. So that's leveraging the psychedelic frog and the Murktide Regent. I went 2-0 on that one. Just kind of cruised through. And then the third match was dimmer Frog Eye with the Phyrexian Crusader, not Commander. Phyrexian Crusader. I put it here in my my notes. So yeah, it was a good day. I feel good about it. Made it to the finals. It was a little reassuring for me. If I had lost my first match, which I thought I was going to, I was like, man, one, I drove 45 minutes out here. So that's a long drive. And then two, it would just kind of feel bad after winning an RC invite yesterday. But it was just kind of consistently I showed up. I did what I wanted to do. I'm winning 2 matches at these events. So now at the bigger events, the goal is move to those 3 matches, start qualifying for top 8s, top 4s, and then seeing if I can get that RC bid in a bigger event. So it's coming together. It's a one foot in front of the other thing. I think I said that in the last video, but I'm just, trying to stay focused, really polish my play, count my triggers correctly, try to find the most efficient line, start to recognize where the power is in these other decks. So that's doing a lot of study about what these other decks are doing, what they're doing to try to win. And even if you've never seen the deck before, I've never seen this, the first deck I played, the Grinding Breach with Thassa's Oracle. Never seen that before in my life. So I was just okay, how does this combo work? What is going on? Trying to figure out where it is, and then figuring out correctly how to interrupt it. And I managed to do that with my sideboarding plan and made it happen. So feeling good. I'm going to head home now. There was no kickoff to this because I was running late again. And well, I hit a little bit of traffic, but just ran right into the event. So I didn't do a kickoff. So this is your one vlog. So we'll go check in with future me to wrap us up. But thanks everybody for checking in on my vlog here.
Thanks, Pass Me. What a ride. So was a little upset, didn't go back to back. That would have been amazing. That would have been just the cherry on top for my weekend, which secured 2 RC invites in a weekend. Would have been absolutely amazing. But as you could tell, was still feeling good. It was a little bit of a confirmation for me that I'm playing well, I'm doing well, to make it into the grand finals again. Like I said, I didn't want to detract from the 4-person tournament that I won, but at the same time, if I could do it at an 8-person, I would feel a little bit better. It's just something personal for me. You got to keep pushing yourself. You got to keep getting better. You got to keep seeing what you can do as a player. So, and we're running out of time too, is another thing that I didn't really realize. Early November is when the cutoff is for the RCs in Q1 of next year. So I think I only have 4 or 5 tournaments left before the end of that end of this season. So I'm really trying to get another bid before the end of the season so that I can attend both of them. And we're gonna keep trying it. So if you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. You should do the thing, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. All of those help get this video out to other people that like Magic the Gathering content, because that's what we're doing here. We're documenting this journey of mine as I try to qualify for the Pro Tour in the next 5 years. And we're just going to keep pushing forward, keep practicing, keep trying to get better, play tighter, play smarter. And we're just going to keep pushing forward until we can make it happen. So until next time, we'll catch you at the table.